Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Pownell Select Board Meeting on April 13th, 2023 at 6 PM. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Board member roll call.
Angie Rowling.
Jamie Percy.
Bob Jarvis.
Brian Harris.
Mike Gardner. Approval of the agenda. Public comment. Approval of the minutes of March 23rd, 2023, March 30th, 2023. Accounts payable or warrants. Correspondence, excess weight permits, gravel crushing bid award, planning commission interested participant meet and greet, reappoint E91 coordinator, open positions and reappointment discussion, old business, new town offices railing quotes, ARPA money discussion, public comment, executive personnel discussion regarding a public official, public comment, and adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion, changes, questions, comments? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Hannah, any public comment?
No, hands are up.
Approval of minutes of March 23rd, 2023 Select Board Meeting.
So moved.
Second it.
Corrections, discussion? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Minutes March 30th, 2023 Special Select Board Meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any changes, questions, comments? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Warrants. Accounts payable 331, $64,460.77.
So moved.
Second it.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Accounts payable 47, $24,042.95.
So moved.
Second it.
Any questions?
Yes, I just have a question on the Bennington County Sheriff for the amount of $3,614. Is that normal or that seems awfully low? I was just wondering if they were doing less hours.
It was low. We called and they said it was accurate. The hours did seem less, but they did say it was accurate. They sent a revised bill. So we had two bills that were for both like around 3,000. So we thought maybe they were together. Tara had me call and it was just the 3,000 for Bennington County Sheriff's.
I just thought that seemed odd. Okay.
While we're on that subject now you brought it up, Hannah, when they send us a bill, do they send us a breakdown of the hours? I thought so.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure.
We can do that too.
And was there weekend hours on it
Yes.
with the amount of pay as well?
The
They
amount.
break it down?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
They also give the amount of tickets that they write during that time and the amount of contacts they make.
I
So
would
it's
like
pretty
to
detailed, and I will scan those in and get them to you guys. I'll get the last few months, so you have something to compare to.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Definitely.
Thanks, Sarah. All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Accounts payable 4/14/23, $11,725.58.
So moved.
Second it.
Questions on that one? All those in favor? Angie,
I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Payroll 3/31/23, $11,340.71.
So moved.
Second it.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Payroll 4/7/23, $11,616.52.
So moved.
Second it.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike abstain. Payroll 4/14/23, $10,170.63.
So moved.
Second it.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. All right. Correspondence. You have any correspondence, Tara?
Yes, I have two, and I think Hannah has one. But I'll start. I have one from our lister or assessor clerk. She is now Wendy. In the past couple of years, the real estate market has thrown us huge curveballs, resulting in the state mandating a townwide reappraisal. This is a friendly reminder that the board needs to begin discussing and moving forward with this mandate. We have to establish a plan that we would like to employ to accomplish this task. NEMRIC provides these services. They are approximately 3 to 4 years out on a waiting list, which we would need to get onto. This lapse in time will also allow us to add to our reappraisal budget. The state can be commissioned for the task, but it is my opinion, private business will be better for us. I have CC Jacob in case we have any questions for him. So basically, I think she just wants sort of the go ahead to contract NEMRIC and to get on the waiting list.
Okay.
I
So,
guess we've done it in the past too, right?
so I make a motion that we allow Wendy to get on the waiting list for NEMRIC for the reappraisal for the state. Is that correct?
Second it.
Any discussion, questions, comments? She's absolutely right. It was just a matter of time.
Right.
All those in favor?
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Bob, sorry.
Just, I don't know how to say it, and I don't want to create a firestorm either, but do we have instructions for any individuals that would like to have their property reassessed? I mean, are there options for people to just hire somebody, get an assessment, and then come to the town with it? Or is it all has to be done at once and it has to be done by the town?
I believe this is a mandate by state.
It's a state mandate, and I'm not sure the specifics. Wendy may have more details, and if not, certainly Jacob will.
I believe after the appraisal, you get a grace period where you can grieve it.
Right.
And then you can have like somebody appraise your property professionally and present it if it's different.
Okay, but I
I
just.
may be wrong on that, but that's what it's been in the past.
Okay, but I think I just heard it was 3 to 4 years on a waiting list.
That's
Yeah.
because the whole state's going through the whole chain.
No, I understand why the waiting list is that long, but
Well-
but thinking about what the task is, by
So
the
we,
time it comes around, there will be substantially more changes in market value.
so I know that residents have the opportunity to submit grievances once a year with Wendy. So once the tax bills go out, if people have questions, concerns, or an issue with the amount, they contact Wendy, and then Wendy works with Jacob to figure out, can it be changed or does it need to stay the same in comparison with our other properties?
Okay, that makes good sense. And sorry, I'm done asking questions.
Okay, no problem. The other letter is from Mr. Walt Klinger.
We need to vote on this one, Tara,
The
first.
motion's
Oh,
on
sorry.
table. That's okay.
You're jumping the gun on us. Oh, yeah.
I am.
All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Okay, Tara.
Okay, so our BCRC representative, Walt Klinger, sent in just an update. Gentlemen and ladies, on Thursday, the 16th of March 23, I attended a regular meeting of the Bennington County Regional Commission. The main topic presented was a review of FEMA flood map revisions for Bennington County. Mr. Ned Swanberg, floodplain manager with the Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation, reviewed and discussed the various flood zone revisions and proposed control features that are being incorporated into the county. The process is ongoing and will continue to have a periodic public and town review points in the next couple of years as the map updates continue. The revised maps will become critical to future floodplain development and control. The new revised maps will likely make zoning revisions desirable and or necessary. Towns are advised to keep aware of and participate in the updating process so that they can adjust their future development plans for floodplain areas. This may have impact here in Pownell on account of the large swath of areas adjacent to the Hoosick River. Mr. Jonathan Cooper, Mr. Scott Grimm-Lyon, and BCRC made a presentation on the recently completed Dorset housing study. One of the findings for Dorset was that 12% of households were seniors living alone. That seemed like such a large number, which may be approximation that scales to Pownell. Such residents may require special consideration and services during adverse weather events or other situations. The study also identified a critical need for lower income, affordable, single and multifamily housing development. Housing stock aging is significantly weighted toward older, pre-1970s stock in Dorset. And that's it for correspondence for me.
Thank you.
Then I have one from Ellen, our delinquent tax collector. The Pownell Estates has withdrawn its request for assignment on 3 mobile homes the town of Pownell purchased at 2 separate tax sales. So as of now, we still have the properties of Gilbert Squires, Bonnie Brown, and Stacy Whitney, and Tim and Joanne Wilson. If you guys remember, we talked about that.
Yes.
They want to purchase them, but they back out.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any excess weight permits, Hannah?
We do. We have, these have all been reviewed by Joel and approved by him. Riggs Disler and Company, West Oil, Camp Precast, Consolidated Communications, and Sean O'Donovan, all our fleets.
Make a motion that we accept the excess weight permits that our road foreman's already reviewed.
Second,
Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Did everyone review the gravel crushing
Yes.
bids? Did you read, I'll read Joel's letter. You can put this into the record. We opened the bids for the gravel crushing on Wednesday, the 12th. Hunter Excavating was $9.50 a yard for a total of $47,500. Basin Brothers was $7.75 a yard for a sum of $38,750. We have $36,850 in the gravel crushing fund and $28,046 in the gravel sand riprap line. So we have enough to cover the crushing. They're going to do, we're gonna do 4,000 yards of crushed gravel and 1,000 yards of crushed stone. I recommend going with Basin for $7.75 a yard. I will send a copy of the bids. Let me know if it's okay to go ahead with it. Also, on another note, well, let's deal that and then I'll read the bottom of Joel's. So Joel's recommending that we go with Basin Brothers for $7.75 a yard. I don't remember what it was last year.
I don't think it's that far off.
I don't think it's that far
It was
off.
750. I was gonna say, I think it was 750.
That's what I thought. I was thinking $7.50 a yard, so, okay. So they're,
Not far.
no, so for the price of stuff, they're
Yeah.
giving us a pretty good deal.
Yes, they are.
So what's the motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Basin,
Yep.
okay.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor to approve Basin Brothers to do our gravel crushing and crushed stone. 4,000 yards of crushed gravel, 1,000 yards of crushed stone. All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. This is also from Joel, which this is kind of good news too, actually. Also on another note, the state is going to grind and re-blacktop Route 7 from Park Lawn Cemetery to the Mass Line. They asked me if we wanted the grindings and I said, yes, it's excellent to mix with the gravel for compaction. We will have to put our 2 tandem trucks on the haul when they do it. They're also going to have some clean fill and I said I would take that also to put against the line between Hibbard and the town in which we're supposed to do that at some point. This was before my time, but a good opportunity to do some of it. The agreement is what he's talking about was before his time. Just-
Right.
we all know that. I just want the taxpayers and residents and viewers to know that that's an agreement that was before Joel came on as the road foreman. And I think probably before any of us were on the board, definitely before me, but
Yep.
I think probably all of us. So that's just a side note from Joel. And he's right, the grindings mixed in there make excellent gravel, so.
Help lock things together.
Yeah, locks it up to good, nice. Perfect. Which brings us to the planning commission interested participant meet and greet. That's you, sir.
Yes. Questions? I have a question. How large is your?
Can you just introduce yourself to the,
Certainly, I'm sorry. My name is Roy Lawrence. I've lived here 4 years. I'm up on Field Way.
Okay.
All right.
Any
Okay.
What
questions?
can I tell you or how would you like to start this?
You said you had a question,
I was wondering how large the planning commission is.
right?
How many members?
Was it 5 of you?
Well, it's a 7-member board.
I see.
That's how many slots there are. And we have 2 alternates, but currently I think we're sitting at 6 members.
Okay.
I see. I understand.
Oh, Tara gave us a list of,
She did.
Yeah, Jim was up.
Yeah, so if you appoint, Roy, he would be an alternate
Okay.
because, Jim Winchester did submit his letter of interest, so he would like to continue his role on that board also.
Okay.
okay. So, just to be clear, just because it's an alternate position, you're still welcome at all of their meetings and participate fully. You don't have to sit back in the corner
Yeah, I would
and
hope,
hope that nobody shows up.
I would hope so because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to keep up with the progress of the committee and
Exactly,
what we're doing.
exactly, you know.
I read the town planning report. It's pretty interesting. It says there's a lot to be done, but it strikes me that it's a Vermont issue all the way around. I mean, it's all over Vermont. Your older housing, you need jobs, need a better tax base.
Kind of a broken record.
I'm sorry.
It's kind of a broken record, right?
Not to me, but it's certainly universal, I think, where I go. And I know Bennington's trying to solve it with tourism. And they've got Bennington College here, but I'm not sure where Pownell would go with this, honestly. And it's an interesting question. You've got the racetrack. I understand somebody wanted to maybe develop that for RVs. I would assume there's utilities there, but I know nothing really about this. And so I'm gonna share my ignorance.
I'm gonna speak from the zoning administrator's position, just to bring you up to speed a little bit. Because I am also the zoning administrator in Pownell. Right now, there is, a multitude of projects, potential projects coming into town right now. I have, been contacted by several different people and different types of businesses, mostly smaller, but some of them are very interesting. And I think they're a great fit for Pownell. So I think the planning commission is gonna have a little bit of, little work to do. And I, as well as the development review board in the near future. So I think it's important to have people on both the development review board and the planning commission who are going to be involved, who are going to be attentive, who are gonna be willing to do a little research on their own when Hannah or Tara don't have the time to do things. That's just my opinion. And I've been working closely with several different people actually in the last 2 months. And some of it's pretty exciting, actually.
Oh, that's great. I mean, it's not just dollars, but it's culture as well.
Exactly,
As well.
exactly.
And that's very important. One feeds the other, I think, in my experience at least. I can tell you a little bit about my experience if you like.
Yes,
I was a project manager at Harvard until they laid project managers off in 2008 in the crash. And then I worked as an energy consultant for the university, not a consultant, but I worked for the university doing energy audits. Not a very high level position, hurt my pocketbook. Then I was the director of operations for the Divinity School, but also when my wife died and I moved here from Florida, I worked for Brock as their homeless counselor. So I know a little bit about the housing in Bennington and the types of issues you come up against with people who are less fortunate, let's say, a little down on their luck. So, yeah, I've got a little perspective is what I'm trying to say, not
Excellent.
as good as some.
No, but I think it'd be a nice add to the board,
Well,
so.
does anybody have any questions? Bob, you have any questions for?
Oh, I'm good. I think it's nice that we have individuals who are interested in serving on the planning commission, we certainly have the open spot. I'm really glad that you're stepping up and willing to put in that unpaid effort. I guess there's a stipend.
Well, I'm retired, so, no, I actually work part-time, but yeah, I have time to not get paid, I guess.
It sounds to me like, with some of your experience, if not all of it, in your jobs, various jobs, sounds to me like you'd be a great addition to the planning commission. It would bring maybe a different perspective that we might not have there now on certain things.
Yeah, well, I hope so. And, I look around and I see all the farmland that you guys have here. You've got great farmland. And a lot of it's underutilized, and people just don't farm anymore. I wonder if.
Trust me.
Anyways, I won't go into the weeds of this, but I think you have some real assets here. That's what I'm trying to say.
What's the board's pleasure? Do we have any more questions, any comments?
We don't have any more applicants, correct, Tara?
No, just Jim submitted his letter of interest to continue, but that was it.
Right. Okay, so, if we have room, I'm for making a motion to add Roy to the planning commission
As an alternate?
as an alternate, yep.
I'll second.
And how would I get started? Would somebody contact me and say, the meeting is now, or should I just look online and see when the meeting is?
No, I think, Hannah, are you here tomorrow?
Yes.
So would it be possible for you to come in tomorrow?
Sure.
And meet with Hannah, and she can get all of your information, your email and all of that. We may already have some of it, but she can get you started on everything to get you going.
Yeah, the afternoon, okay for you?
Yeah, that works perfect. Yeah, I'll be here till 3.
I'm sorry.
I'll be here till 3.
Oh, okay, that's good for me.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, aye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in.
You come in tomorrow and Hannah will get you started.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be
Should
there.
we reappoint Jim while we're,
Yes, I think we should.
Yeah, I actually, since we're moving into that, I have 2 reappointments for you, well, 3, because,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Well, let's do the 911 coordinator first because that I don't want to jump off the agenda and we didn't change anything.
Right.
Mike,
Okay.
one second.
Hold on one second.
I'm just looking at it. This is the version that was warned, but I printed you off the wrong version. I added these 2.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
these 2 right here. For the SWIP and then the anti-idling policy. These were the warned versions. I just printed you off the one without the two on it.
Okay.
So it's just the next item. You didn't miss anything. It's just the next item.
All right. But this is the Warren version
That
here.
is the warned version, yes.
So I'm gonna ask the board at this point. I'm gonna reread the warned version of the agenda. And I'm gonna ask you to approve this rewarn or the warned version. Okay?
Properly
We
warned.
haven't done anything out of order yet?
Yep.
Great catch. We're good. I just want to make sure that we're on top of things by reapproving this warned version. So the warned version of the agenda, call to order, board member roll call, approval of agenda, public comment, approval of minutes, the warrants, correspondence, excess weight permits, gravel crushing bid award, planning commission interested participant meet and greet, solid waste implementation plan amendment review, anti-idling policy review and discussion, reappoint the E91 coordinator, open positions and reappointment discussion, old business, ARPA money discussion, public comment, executive for personnel discussion regarding public official, public comment, and adjourn. So the only 2 items on here that are different or their additions actually on the Warren version are the solid waste implementation plan amendment review and the anti-idling policy. And I should have caught that because we have the anti-idling policy in front of me. No, it's our fault totally as a team. Sorry, But nice catch though. Thank you. So I'll entertain a motion to reapprove this warned version of the agenda.
So moved.
Second it.
Any more discussion? Any questions? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Sorry.
I remember reading that too.
Okay, I know, it, and I did too. I just have so many things going on. Solid waste implementation plan amendment review, and that's you, sir. I wondered why Tom was coming through the door. I'm thinking, what's he coming through for?
Well, there's a reason,
Yeah, sorry, Tom.
but we need to get a copy from all of you, just to follow along. What this amounts to, guys,
Thank you.
is that, here's one for Brian then, if you'd like to have it. What it amounts to is that, the implementation plan has to be amended. There's two amendments on this, if you'll see it. We're in the midst of getting this permanent household hazardous waste facility put in Bennington. All right, we have the things are ordered, and RJ's gonna be doing some paving up there and a concrete pad to set these units on. They're prefab. There's like trailers or shipping container type things, but they've got multiple doors on them for different types of hazardous waste, and they have to have fire suppression and all this. So we're gonna get these things done. And we have we got another meeting coming up next week. We're really getting hammered with this thing. They want to try to have it in place and running in June
Of this year.
this year. And then what we're going to do, all the towns have to approve the things, because this is our solid waste implementation plan. This is why we have the alliance, I mean, if we were to try to do this ourselves, it'd be astronomical, and, basically you'd be doing the same work that they're doing, and it just costs us way too much. But this thing's gonna eventually, it may not do it right away, but it's gonna eventually save us a lot of money, because to get these days that they have, when they bring them in, they have one in Bennington, they have one in Dorset, and they have one for up in Reedsboro for Stanford and Reedsboro and stuff. And they're very, very expensive. I mean, just to set up is over $20,000, and then disposal costs and the handling and stuff. So if we have this, they can have certain pickups. They have, there's a lot of different places that they were looking at, and I think they're gonna probably go to the Clear Harbors, but I'm not sure yet. That's something we'll do in May when we look at all the prices. But what it is they come around and they'll take the stuff out, and it'll be open up one day a week, and you'll have to get an appointment to come in there. You'll have a 15-minute span to come in, so that they can take your stuff and they'll put it away, and they'll take and write down and have a computer and put on everything that they have, what they've taken and so forth and so forth. So that's really all we need to have approved here. You have, that's whatever.
What is the cost of the town?
We've already paid it.
Well, I like that. That's good news.
Yeah.
Oh, we already okayed that.
Oh, I just wanted, every time you go with solid waste, there's always a cost and it's always.
That's what I was just looking to see if there was an additional.
That's what I skimmed through and I didn't see it.
Wasn't it
It's
10,000?
the whole thing's gonna be 170, but we got matching grants from.
Grants, right, but then we have to pay 10,000 up front. Why
Something like that.
How do I remember that? I remember 10,000.
But here's the.
That was a couple of years ago.
Right.
The proposed amendment and so forth, and the services offered and all of this stuff. So, we get down to that. We don't know exactly what days we're going to be open. We're going to, just try to work it all out. We don't have everything done exactly yet, but we need all the town's approval to do it. Because we don't have the town, and that town will be out swept probably, what it amounts to. So it's basically, you're gonna have to, somebody's gonna have to do it. You know, because we can't take care of this ourselves. There's no way.
So if there's no cost to us, what are we approving?
Addition, you're just approving the amendment to the SWIP is all it amounts to.
I mean, the facility, it says the facility will be open seasonally May through October, minimum of 18 weeks of operations, minimum of 4 hours per day,
Yeah,
at least one quarterly generation.
right. So it's basically what we're setting this thing up for, and we're trying to save everybody money. I mean, it's going the whole way down. What Bennington is doing is they're going to do the hardscaping and stuff, they're putting the pad down and stuff, and that's part of their money going into it.
Right, they're doing
Yeah,
their piece.
yeah, so they're doing that, but this is what we're looking at here, you know, and, this is something we really need, and then we don't have to do those single days on Saturdays and stuff, because they really get to be, they're very expensive. It just keeps climbing higher, and another thing is, we're losing some of the state grants. When Michael Badger was here, he was always really good about getting the state grants, but they're running out.
Yeah.
And I just mentioned something to Nelson at the transfer station about that. I said, we need to get back on these manufacturers to get back with the pesticides and the herbicides and things like that. And Mike knows more about that than any of us, I'm sure. You know, but, you know, they were paying some of this. It's just like the electrical manufacturers pay for the fluorescent tubes and stuff. The battery manufacturers pay for the batteries. So these are things that don't cost us anything, but we're losing those grants. And that really saved us a lot of money. I mean, we would save, well, we used to have a budget for like 22,000, we're only paying 15,000 a year because all the grants were coming back and everybody split it all up. It's all based on population. So this is what we're doing.
So you're basically, you came in to ask us to approve this amendment?
Yes. And on the, I think the back page has a sign page.
I saw that.
If you do that, and
Board, have any questions for Tom? Bob, we're good.
I'm good.
you make questions?
No, I don't. Oh, Kara.
Nope, no questions.
Okay, nice seeing you.
You too.
I'll entertain a motion from the board to approve the amendment for the Bennington County Solid Waste Alliance.
So moved.
Seconded. Right.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob?
Bye.
Brian, aye. Mike, aye.
Very good.
Do we have a,
Where's the one that you want?
yeah, where's the one you want signed?
I
Yeah,
can
when
pass it to yours, Mike, unless,
The
Tom
back,
probably has the same thing.
the back page there.
We have so much
Right
paper
here.
sometimes.
I know,
Is that the one you
I
want?
can't wait for the
Doesn't
time.
matter either one.
No, we're gonna sign this one. I got it right here.
Thank you. You take care of that, and I have a meeting on, beginning of May. Oh, I did want to mention something for people that are watching and so forth. We're having, the green up days the first Saturday. I think it's the 6th of May. We're having that coming up. The bags are in. I have posters I put all over town, on Tuesday. And they can contact me at the transfer station when we're open. And then they come up and get all the bags they need. Because I've got a couple hundred up there. Well, actually not up there. They're still in the back of my truck. But they're locked up, so they're fine. So I just wanted to put that out there for people that are watching, that they could, they know about that. And I think I'm gonna be on the front porch for them tomorrow and post it on there. Get something there that they can come up there and hopefully we can get these town cleaned up a little bit, right? It's always a nice thing. All right, any questions for me? All right,
I think we're good.
thank you.
Thanks.
Do you want this or do you?
Tom, do you need
We
this?
gotta move.
Okay.
She's gonna mail it.
Anti-idling policy review and discussion.
Follow me. That's back.
The only question I had, I read it, don't have it in front of me, but it said,
Anti-idling policy review discussion. Any questions on that?
So my only question is, I don't have it in front of me. Do I have it in front of me?
Sure.
Oh, I read it at home. Let's see. When they were talking about the town equipment and the town vehicles, and then it said town employees, they don't mean the town employees private, correct?
Correct, and yes.
It's only
Yes.
town.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I wanted.
Good question,
Thank you.
at least to be clear.
Hopefully fire department, EMS is exempt.
There's,
Hard to run without it.
well, they're not town owned, so we're fine. This is for town owned equipment and
And town-wide property. I want to specifically say that because if they're parked at a.
I'm gonna read this.
If they're parked at a business, they can leave it running. But if they're on town property, they can't leave it idling. I just want to make that.
Right, I'm gonna read through this really quick. How to reduce air pollution, anti-idling policy for company property, statement and purpose. The policy seeks to reduce air pollution in employees, visitors, and other exposure to vehicle exhaust by discouraging unnecessary idling of vehicles on property owned, operated, or managed by town of Pownell. Right, first statement. Right? Definition, for the purpose of this policy, a fleet is defined as all vehicles owned, rented, or leased by town of Pownell or operated for the purpose of conducting business on behalf of the town of Pownell. Background. Motor vehicles are the largest source of a number of air pollutants in Vermont, including air toxics, the ozone precursors, volatile organic compounds, and nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, and greenhouse gases. Air pollution impacts our health, economic growth, and quality of life. Vehicle exhaust, including exhaust from idling vehicles, contributes significantly to air pollution. Statement of policy, drivers are advised to turn off vehicles when parked on property owned, operated, or managed by town of Pownell and not restart vehicles until necessary to depart. This policy applies to all vehicles, including vehicles owned and operated by the town of Pownell, vehicles operated by employees of Pownell. Posting idling of vehicles is prohibited. Street signs where they can be easily seen by vehicles parked at the Pownell Highway Garage. Posting idling reduction pledge as appropriate on the premises. Exemptions, the request that a driver turn off a vehicle and refrain from idling does not apply for the period or periods during which idling is necessary under the following circumstances. To provide for the safety of vehicle occupants, such as in cases of extreme hot or cold conditions, to run the air conditioner or heater under extreme heat or cold, really. To operate safety equipment such as windshield defrosters, to use lift equipment or other equipment necessary to accommodate individuals with one or more disabilities, to power work-related mechanical, hydraulic, or electrical equipment when specific traffic safety or emergency situations arise. In any of the above exemption cases, if equipment can be run from the battery, drivers should refrain from idling unless there is a significant concern of draining the battery. Implementation, and then there's just a date and place for signatures. Is there any questions, concerns on this?
You answered my question. That's all I cared about. Wasn't that private?
I'll entertain a motion.
So
I don't see anything wrong with this policy here, actually. Tara, this is like a generic state policy or something?
Yeah, and it's, Joel needed it for a grant,
Yeah, right.
an emissions grant.
So that's right. We had to put this policy in effect for a grant for our road crew and for our roads.
Load.
And it's not a bad thing to have anyway. No, I disagree with some of it, but it's not my place. All those in favor? Did I get a motion in a
I
second?
got it so moved, but I didn't hear a second.
Second, I didn't hear you say it was all moved.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to adopt this anti-idling policy. All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bob, I.
Ryan, I.
Mike, aye. Okay. Reappoint the E91 coordinator. Everyone saw Priscilla's
Yep.
Yeah, and just so public knows why we're doing this, your wording before didn't include her reappointment. It only discussed her increase effective July. So just to be really clear, we wanted to redo it.
Okay. I thought we had taken care of
Yeah, you did.
That's right, we didn't.
We didn't reappoint.
it. That's fine. Thank you for catching that.
Any questions on that, comments? I'll entertain a motion to reappoint Priscilla as the E91 coordinator, Priscilla Maxon.
So moved.
Second it.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Open positions and reappointment
So,
discussion.
Mike, before you go through that list, can I just read the 2 letters of interest that I have?
Absolutely.
So the first is from Craig Odell. Dear Pownell Select Board, I would like to continue my appointment as Emergency Management Director for the town of Pownell for the next fiscal year. Thank you, Craig Odell.
Anybody have any questions about that? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve Craig Odell for the Emergency Management Coordinator.
Second it.
Any questions, comments? I'm gonna give one quick comment. I've been working with Craig on a particular project that he's been working on. And we don't have them in the building yet. But we have them in our possession. Craig has them in his possession, I should say. So I attended a seminar, and I don't mean to drag this on, but I want to make, this is a pretty important thing. I attended a training with Craig. I don't even remember, maybe back in November, October, something like that, in the fire departments, EMS personnel, state police and law enforcement agencies. And it was basically, it was an active shooter training course. Out of that, of course, everybody knows me. I'm not one to sit back and not say something that's on my mind, right? So it was basically for first responders. My opinion of that, and it's basically set up for schools. And my opinion was that they were missing their first responders. They missed the targeted people. The first responders are the teachers and staff and whoever's in that school building. They're already there. They're the first responders. So out of that conversation, long story short, out of that conversation, there was a federal grant at the time. Craig did all the legwork. I did nothing with it. I'm giving him credit here for this one because he did it. He applied for 25 Stop the Bleed kits through a federal grant. We received those kits. I don't remember the breakdown about this. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure 10 of them are going to go into the school. I think there's 2 going to come to the town office. One's going to go to our constable. This was Craig and I kind of agreed on this. And I think the balance are being split up between the 2 fire departments and the rescue squad. I think it's an incredible thing look, we never want to use them, but they're there. And there's going to be our school here in Pownell is going to be the first one in the district, in this district, that's going to be trained in how to use them. We're in the process of setting that up right now. I've got the district to approve, they're approving the pay to have the people come in and train our school staff how to use these kits. I'm also going to bring in the road crew if they want to and be trained on this, as well as office staff here.
Any town employee that I would strongly encourage them, if they're at all interested and willing to take the training, they should do it.
Let's face it, if something like that ever happens, it's a really tough situation, but if we have the equipment, it's certainly going to help. It should.
Ellen and I can also show the office staff how to use them because we were in that training as well.
That's right, you guys were there. I forgot that, Tara. Yeah. So,
I just have a question, because you have Oak Hill and you have, Head Start, are they involved in this at all? Since they're kind of like on the campus of the school?
they haven't been, Angie. I don't know about Head Start.
Right.
Because they're semi-connected. But I don't, to the best of my knowledge, I would say the Oak Hill has not been.
Maybe that's something you could bring up to Greg. I don't know.
No, I could.
Because unfortunately, if something like that does happen at the school, I'm sure that,
Look
they're
at,
there as well.
who knows what's out there in this
Exactly.
world.
That's right.
I'm just extremely proud that Pownell's E9, or our emergency management coordinator, went ahead and got this.
Yes,
Got this ball rolling,
absolutely.
okay? I'm proud that Tara was there on the initial training with Ellen. And like I said, we're cutting edge, so to speak, with the entire district. And I've since spoken to the district people through my personal contacts with them. It'll probably end up being through the whole entire school district.
It should.
Right.
Oh, it should. That's right. That's right. I've already started that ball rolling. It's just a matter of now we gotta just roll it.
Yep.
We're gonna be doing a big one in Bennington also. So what some people may not understand, the Stop the Bleed kits. If the response team that is going in, say the police department's tactical team is going in, if you're sitting there and you have a gunshot wound in your femur, for instance, they're gonna step over you or they're gonna drop one of these kits off if they have. Their goal is to go, they have a different goal, but they're not gonna, you may think they're just stepping over you, they're gonna drop a kit. Well, if you're a teacher or somebody that's been trained, at least you'll know how to administer this kit on yourself also, if not somebody else that's with you.
Right.
So that's,
I didn't want to take up a bunch of that time. I'm sorry. I just thought that's a really incredibly important thing. And it's something that I'm really proud that Craig was able to solidify those kits and move forward with them.
That's awesome. So there's a lot of work involved in it.
I'm just bringing it up, I've been doing some legwork for him, but not a ton. He's done most of it himself, so.
So we have a motion on the table, right?
We have a motion on the
Yes.
floor for Craig.
Yes.
Yep. All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie,
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye.
Okay, the next is from Jim Winchester. Dear Select Board, it has been my pleasure to be seated on the Pownell Planning Commission over the years. I have shared and gained valuable insight and have enjoyed working with the members and townspeople while watching our great town grow and change. I would like to serve another term on the Planning Commission if you so choose. Thank you, Jim Winchester.
make a motion to accept Jim's application
Second.
or
more discussion?
reinstatement. Excuse me.
All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie,
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye.
use the right words.
You want me to read the openings, Tara, or do you want to do it?
I can.
Okay, perfect.
So for the DRB, we have one alternate position open. We filled the only alternate position for the Planning Commission tonight. Parks and Rec is always looking for new members. The Conservation Commission, so we actually have 4 vacancies on this. Not something that we have used in recent years that I'm aware of. It's basically, it was voted at some point by the townspeople that we would have this type of commission, and their duties, are to do things like provide reports on minerals and coal and like natural resources and things like that in the town. So this is a thing that doesn't have to be filled, positions that don't have to be filled, but they recommend that we keep it just in case in the future we have a need. Then we wouldn't have to go back to vote again. We can just kind of leave them empty as far as we're concerned, I guess. So tree warden, that is currently vacant. It was held by Dave Dents Jr. We are not sure if he wants to continue with that or not, but this is a position that has to be appointed by the select board. We cannot leave this one vacant. So if anybody has contact for him, that would be great if you could have him reach out to us if he's still interested. And then
I
zoning
can reach-
adminis-
I can reach out to Dave. I can reach out to Dave.
Okay, thanks, Mike. And then zoning administrator, currently held by Mike, that's up, I believe you said August, right, Mike?
Yep.
Okay. The BCRC delegates, we have one open vacancy. Walt Klinger has been doing a great job with the position that he holds as our representative currently. But we do have an availability for 2 representatives if we wanted. Then there's vacant positions of the home health rep and the surveyor of wood. Those can be eliminated by the select board if you so choose. The surveyor of wood was previously held by Dave Dents also, but that's up into 2023. And then there's a few that aren't required to be appointed and they're currently empty if Dave Dents doesn't want to take them back. They are fence viewer, pound keepers, and inspector of lumber and shingles. So those are the select board may appoint. So we are not required to fill those vacancies. If somebody is interested, then we certainly could. So I think we're left with certainly tree warden is our big one that we need to fill pretty immediately.
So I just texted Dave, if he was interested in reappointment to the positions that he holds for the town. And it was a flat yes.
Okay, awesome. Will you just ask him to send me an email and then I'll share it with you guys at the next meeting?
Perfect.
That conservation one, I wonder if that's something. I don't remember it, but if it was something that we could utilize a group like that for our town lands. As far as for ideas and projects on it. You know. Just. If we end up having a committee there.
What was that, Jamie? Sorry, I was texting Dave.
For that conservation one, I didn't know if we could utilize, if we did gain a group interested, to use on our town lands, our wooded properties,
Yeah, it might be.
to assist with the projects and stuff.
Yep. So
Yeah,
looks
so
like-
certainly if there's anybody interested that has background in that sort of thing, that would be great. Because I mean, there's things like they can make an inventory or conduct continuing studies on natural resources in the town, basically soils, the air, surface, groundwaters, and the pollution, mineral and other earth resources, streams, lakes, ponds, wetland, all important features in our town. So
Tara, what's your email?
it's executive.assistant@townofpownell.org.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. Executive.assistant.
No, at executive.assistant@townofpownell.org.
You got a long one.
Yep.
Or
You should have heard me trying to get through with Dell with that. That was a nightmare.
Okay, Dave's got your email. You should see that shortly. Next few days. Okay, where else are we at with that?
That was the list of open positions. So we need a DRB member and we need a tree warden. But I think Dave is going to fill that position. So
Yep.
there aren't many open positions now, other than the Conservation Commission.
Perfect.
sounds good.
Okay, any old business?
Yeah, just the railing quote, because I wasn't sure what direction the board would want to go with that, because it's kind of your choice. Do we want just plain steel painted that will look similar to the ones that are at the Old Town office? Or we can have galvanized steel, which according to that company is what's recommended for surfaces that are coming into contact with salt. So the difference in pricing is,
Quite a bit.
about $4,000.
Yeah.
So the first quote was 15,600, and the second quote for the galvanized steel was 19,900.
Any discussion on that? I have my preference.
This
The
is
galvanized
budget money, isn't it?
longevity.
I didn't hear what Bob said.
Sorry, Bob.
Is this money coming, this is budgeted money that we already have, or is this over and above our budget?
It's budgeted money. It was in the town hall budget. It's a little bit over what we had estimated, but it's still within, we still have the money to cover it.
I think just my opinion. Are we, sorry, are we in the discussion phase?
I
Yes.
think so.
Yeah, I think I think in the long run, probably the galvanized is going to be cheaper for maintenance and for, it's gonna be what we need, but I don't know that for sure.
My opinion is I'm leaning towards I'm opposite you, Bob, only because, we already have the, black steel up at the old building going up by the church. I believe that design and they both may be very similar. I'm just thinking that trying to live into, because this building is in the historic district, that black steel is gonna look, in my opinion, like it belongs more than a galvanized steel. Cause believe me, I come down Barbers Pond Road and look at the wood and it's like, oh, get that off there. But I know it's functional, but it drives me up a wall. And I think as far as the maintenance part of it goes, I think moving forward, we have Billy that does that kind of stuff here anyway. So it's not like we would have to hire an outside contractor basically to come in and repaint whenever they needed to be done. That's just my opinion. I mean, doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just, I think aesthetically and
Symmetrical and aesthetics, I understand
Well,
that.
since that's been over there, that hasn't been painted, correct?
not that I know of, Angie.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's been quite a few years.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time it got painted.
And actually, that's something that we may wanna, if we do the black painted and decide that here, maybe we wanna have Billy paint that at the same time so it all looks,
Yeah.
and it's all done at the same exact time, freshened up to date.
You convinced me.
Thanks, Bob. Any more discussion on the railing? I think one bid was 15 and change from Jay Burnett, and I apologize, I think the other one was a Harrington,
It was 19. so-
was 19
Yep,
and
Harrington Steel.
was 19 and change?
Yep.
So basically, it's a $4,000 difference.
Yeah. And it's hard to keep paint on galvanized.
Yep.
Yeah, and they also say
That's
that
the
you
only
shouldn't
problem.
paint it for the first year, so it would just be galvanized steel. It wouldn't match the other railings like Mike said,
Right.
so I agree with him also.
I mean, that's the only negative about it, because otherwise it just longevity as far as the galvanized goes. But
And I don't buy that anymore, Jamie. I think years ago, galvanized steel definitely lasted longer, but I think in today's world, I don't think the
did now.
galvanization.
Yeah.
I don't think the galvanization process that they do is as good as it used to be because
they used to
chemicals,
hot dip and
well, and the chemicals have changed and, environmentally. So it is what it is. I don't even know that for sure. It's just my opinion. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase and installation of the steel railing from Jay Burnett with painting by Eric for the amount of $15,600.
I'll second.
Do we want to have Billy paint when they're doing the process? That can be separate from the motion, I guess, though. Okay, any more discussion on the motion? I have a motion on the floor in a
His
second.
motion included Eric.
Eric painting these,
Okay, not over there.
not over
Okay.
there.
so they don't come hot dipped already, huh? Or powder coated.
A motion on the floor. In a second, all those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie,
Bob,
Brian, aye.
Mike, aye. Now, do we want to just direct Billy, and we don't need a motion for that, it's something that
yeah.
at some point when he's not really busy for Joel or here to go up and paint that with the same paint at the same time so everything looks all aesthetically correct. Okay.
Sounds like a good plan.
Anything else under old business, Tara?
No, that was all I had.
Okay. ARPA money discussion.
So I put this back on the agenda because Darcy and Joel are really hoping they can have the go-ahead to shop for a mini excavator because there's been some projects that are coming up this summer that they could really use it for, as well as the sidewalks out behind the new town offices. They're gonna need to be prepped. The site work is gonna need to be done. And that would save us money if we have our own mini excavator. We don't have to hire it out. Joel could get that work done for us.
He submitted that, Darcy and Joel submitted that to us back in there. I don't remember. I don't
Yeah, it
remember
was
the numbers.
40 to 60,000.
Right.
You know, Joel came up the other day and, with one of the employees and ran mine. You know, I have a mini excavator that's my own, ran it on my property. So, what's your pleasure on the procedure? I believe that Darcy and Joel will use it. I believe they'll use it a lot. Probably more than what we think they will. When they get into a tight situation, fixing some sewer lines in, you know, a trailer, you know, in one of the parks, mobile home parks, or in one of the residential sections, it's gonna be pretty handy to have.
Hub connections and stuff. I think it's,
My only concern and question would be which department is gonna be responsible for maintenance, upkeep, and storage.
Joel usually does that.
I would assume it would be Joel and the road crew, but
That's likely.
I was just checking.
I think so, but I would double check that with Joel.
I think that's a great
And Joel and
question.
Darcy work really well together, so I can imagine them coming up with a plan to sort of split it or something like that if it's a shared machine.
Yeah, split the
Well, I
PM.
think they share, I think they share the backhoe and our rubber tired excavator when they can.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I believe, now don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that came up in a conversation, that when they can use our regular backhoe or our rubber tired excavator, they do share that as well now. Which, and they remain under a road crew, stored at the road, you know, in our
Road crew.
highway garage.
Line, yes.
Okay.
What's our pleasure?
I make a motion to have them get quotes on mini excavator to be shared by the town foremen there.
To be paid for from ARPA.
Yes, be paid for out of the ARPA funds.
I'll second.
Any discussion? The only discussion I'd like is I would like to answer Brian's question
Yeah.
of where, you know, and that, I think that's a very simple answer. Easy one to
Yeah,
answer.
easy.
You had the question, so I'd like to have that answered. And I think they could probably answer that when Joel or Darcy or whoever brings us back the
It's,
bids, prices, whatever, you know, they can say where it's gonna go, and I think we'd be fine with that. Okay. Any more discussion?
Well, do I need to change that we put it out for bid or go out for quotes?
Just let them-
quotes, I
just let them get a quote
misspoke,
and find-
I said bids instead of quotes.
Yep. All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye.
One other thing with the ARPA money, as I've heard from the rescue squad, that they would prefer to have an answer yes or no, whether you will approve their request. And I'm gotta look and see what the amount was. I don't remember now.
That's for a generator, right?
Yes, for their generator, because if not, they're gonna, you know, they need to move ahead with looking at other grants and things like that. They were requesting 15,500 to 16,150.
What's the board's pleasure?
I'm inclined to say no, only because they're a private organization.
And if we were going to consider it, I think we need to exhaust the grant avenue before we would even consider it, right?
I agree with Brian. I think it's a really gray area, on that. I think, and I think Bob brings up a great point. And maybe they have exhausted the grants. I don't know that. But technically they are a private entity now. And unfortunately, if we approve ARPA money for one private business,
It opens the door.
I think it opens the door for every private business in town to come in for some private. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do that either. It just, opens up a whole can of worms of things that, I'm not sure we're ready to
Yeah, we
tackle
know.
into.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So do we need a motion on that, Tara?
No, I can just give
I didn't
them,
think so.
I can give them the answer. It's not a big deal.
Okay. I think the board's in agreement that we all say no. Okay.
Okay.
That was it on that?
For now, yeah, for now.
Yep, for now. No, that's fine. Moving right along, public comment.
Got
Jen had his hand up.
Please state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
You can go ahead, Jim.
There, Jim Costas, North Mason Hill Road. Just a couple of short questions. First of all, I'd like to have Wendy or the assessor's or department or whatever, just kind of for the minutes, give the CLA, the common level of appraisal percentage, which is requiring the appraisal. I know it's supposed to be between, I think, 85% and 115%. So I just wanted to make sure that we are within that percentage and have it into the minutes. Second of all, just a follow up with the Planning Commission where I asked if the short-term rentals do have to go through some kind of permit process for opening up a short-term rental. I know a lot of businesses in town have to go through the process, or I would hope have to go through the process just to make sure everything is fine. The second thing is, Mike, you had some really encouraging news about people that want to come into town and do some opening of businesses and stuff like that. So I'm just curious if there's any, how the process works. Is it just the abutters of the property that are notified, or is there some kind of hearing that, or some kind of notifications for some of these businesses that are coming into the town? The last one is basically, I can't find on the website a 911 coordinator job description. So I'm just curious with the fee that we are paying to the 911 coordinator, just exactly what the job description is that happens. And I thank you very much and have a good night.
So I'd like to take a second and answer Jim's question on the potential businesses that have reached out to me to come into town. So far, Jim, no one has formally applied for a permit or, I guess for a permit. There's a property that's under contract, in town that they're potentially gonna put a business in. And I really don't want to divulge any of them until they actually have a permit on the table. But I have had a significant number in the last, when I say that, I'm not talking about 30 or 40, but I'm going to tell you that there's probably been 6 to 8 different businesses or people who want to start a business into the town of Pownell contact me within the last 3 months. Some of those were a one and done. Some of them I've been working on for probably even longer than 3 months. I've been to some realtors' offices and met with people. I've gone over bylaws with people. I talked to a gentleman today about expanding a business that he's in the process of opening in town as it is. So that's kind of the process, Jim. I don't know if it's really would go to anybody but in a butter, but it is warned as a public hearing when we have to change use. And I can't speak for the DRB, but I would assume that when they're doing a public hearing, abutters obviously would have first chance to voice their yays or nays. And then I would think that if it was something of major significance, that they would hear general public comment from people in town. But there again, we don't govern that. The select board does not govern the DRB. They're their own governing body, so to speak. But I would assume that would be the process.
Okay, thanks.
Any more public comment here?
No, Jamie.
Yeah, I just wanted to wait for everybody else out there first.
Nobody else said anything.
I was speaking with Craig Odell. He wears a few hats in town, not just our emergency coordinator, but as a fire warden. Also, these people seem to not want to abide by the burn bans and whatnot. And as a town, we can add stricter fines through our ordinances. And he asked me my feelings of it. I asked him to take and write something up. He said he was already trying to put some stuff together, and that if he wants email myself or any member of the board to let us know, and we'll add him to the agenda to share the rest of his thoughts on that, as well as working with having a constable possibly respond with him as another set of eyes, because some people are very unruly. They don't want to be compliant at all. And when you tell them that the fire department's coming to put their fire out, their illegal burn, that they get threatening and everything else. So I guess he's hoping that we can do something through ordinances and to assist him and give him a little more teeth also.
Well, I think that's something that we'll talk about when we talk about Eddie.
Yep.
The constable going into doing some,
And so it's kind of two layered, but
yeah, so that's fine. We'll, when Craig brings it to us, we'll add it to our agenda. And I don't disagree with any part of that. I don't think any one of us disagrees with that, because if there, if there's a burn ban, bless you, Bob. If there's a burn ban that's handed down by the state, it's not anything that, Craig's doing as the forest warden or anybody else. It's handed down by the state. There's things posted on social media all day long about zones and red zones, and unfortunately being colorblind, I'm not sure which one it is, but yellow and whatever. So, I just called Craig and asked him if I can burn, and if he says no, he don't do it. So it's simple as that. The zones don't help me. Any more public comment, Hannah?
That's it.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to move into executive with personnel, and I don't know if there'll be action.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session for personnel.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye, and there will be no action taken at this time. I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session for personnel and discussion regarding a public official.
So moved.
Back at it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye.
I'll set everybody's in.
I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. There'll be no action taken at this time. So I'd like to open up for public comment, please.
Only one person out there, nobody with their hand up.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Angie, I.
Jamie, I.
Bye-bye.
Brian, I.
Mike, aye. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight.
Hi, everyone.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Bob.
Right.